Hello, good morning, good evening. I hope you're well. Thank you for listening. This is a medical cannabis show, and I respect the law, and I hope you do too. Today is an open topic, but there was some comments from last week to talk about Australian medical strains and their method taken, percent of indica and sativa, etc. So that would be pretty cool to see what everybody reckons, if it's improved or not. So I'll give it another 1.25 minutes for some people to arrive, because it looks like it's just myself at the moment and Fratel. How are you, Fratel? Hope you're good, mate. And we can see if there's any new cool things that have happened, possibly. Yeah. Right. So you'd be skipping through if you're listening back. You're listening live. I'm not sure what to say, so I'll just wait. Another 30 seconds. And then we can discuss some Australian stuff. Australian medical cultivars, and see if they're better and cheaper, and actually have some terp profile. All right, 10 seconds. And it starts. So I'll just ramble on. I should Google and see what comes up with some Australian medical cannabis cultivars. Because there's no questions coming through. So let's just do that. See what comes up. Medical cannabis products available. Righto, let's go on. The list of medical cannabis cultivars. What? They've got the list of the cultivars. Cultivators. Jeez, I'm bad at English. So I shouldn't know that one. So I don't want to see the half a dozen that there are probably in Australia. Canna reviews. I didn't think you could advertise for it. What medical products are available? Right, that'll do. Yeah. Oh, wow. I pressed decline. And it did. Jesus Christ. All right. Oh, okay. So see Australia's most comprehensive medical cannabis products list below, featuring over 500 legal medical cannabis products. All right. Brand, name, THC, CBD, size, and spectrum, full spectrum. Oh, wow. What happens if you click on one? So it looks pretty good. Yeah, Mac one in Australia. Okay, let's go on that one. Of course it is. Next. So Sydney University. What medical cannabis products are available? 2 oils. Fair income. Seems like we're last century. Medical cannabis can come in many different forms, including all of them. Okay. Scheduling. Plant-derived cannabinoids. Synthetic products. Oh my goodness. interested in cannabis? Not in Australia. Gee whiz. It's bloody poor. Medical cannabis products available in Australia via prescription. What's this website? Honolulu. I don't know. What types of medical cannabis are there? Oh, yeah. So I've just got to cut and paste the last page off the university website, which was extremely... It just said they have CBD and THC. What about the various other... It's the same website. I might have to log in this time. Let's have a look. Don't have to log in. That's pretty good. Schedule 8. Verification required. Oh, price. Oh, okay. You can get price too. That's pretty cool. Origin. Right. What do you want to learn about this product? Well, imagine for someone just wanting to know something about it. Maybe a little bit of what it does, its smell, the stuff that you get off the Canadian and other websites that tell you what it medicinally does. Gosh, there's... Anyway, all right, I'm at the end of the list. Wow. Okay, that's my effort. Back to it. Oh, look, Jono's rocked up. How you going, Jono? Who cares? Just sent you on Zoom the quality coming out of Thailand. Oh, yep, okay. Very good. Still sharing. Okay, don't want to share that. So would have been nice a little bit before the show, but thank you for that. I'll have a look and see if it's all right. Oh, yeah, you sent some videos. I can show that. How do I show that? All right, it's got to download. Actually, I'm going to have to look at the video first because I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay. I can show that one. Where's the share screen? I'll just go to the next one. And have a quick look. So I'll share some. Oh, yeah, and you've got your indoor setup on racks. That's not your indoor setup. That's not yours. You don't do organics. Correct me if I'm wrong, mate. I hope you really do, and it is yours. The third one is, with the little ones, I think that's yours. You got some nice shelves, and it's very clean. I'll skip through. Yep, and there's your pots that you like. Okay, well, I can show them. So who wants to see some Thailand stuff from Jono Who Cares? I'm sure you do. That bud could be a bit bigger. Just looking at some of that. All right, I'll go back because I've got to do a show here. This should have all been done beforehand. Anyway. Hello, Lene, how are you? Sorry, I'm hungover. I couldn't care less about your hungover. To be honest, sucked in. I don't like alcohol, mate. And that's no excuse. And if you're going to use that as an excuse, anyway, this is a positive show. Keep it positive. Hello, Aussie Jeffro. How are you? New medical cannabis, very good. It's not friends. So you're doing living soil. All right, well done to you for the transition. It's a lot more harder work, but anyway. Here's some Thailand bud. So it's nice and tight, but the cultivars weren't real thick. That's a small-ish bud if you want me to grade it, mate. It's the anthocyanins are beautiful, the colour's beautiful, the trachs are nice. I'm sure it's got a good terp profile, but just the size-wise, that's the only thing that I'm questioning. Here goes a walk around. See how, so it's just pulled out and just like that. You should go through now, mate. I'll just pause it. What I'd do after or even if I've got time before I pull it, get rid of all these. Look at the condition of those. I can't zoom in. Of those fan leaves, they're all shrunk up and canoed. They could have gone, I don't know. Well, but it depends if you. Actually, that hasn't been reached its full potential. That's been pulled early. Just looking at that. Why'd you pull it early, mate? Next one. This is indoors looking nice. How can I fault that? I can't. Look how clean it is. How everything's kept in. That's not going to overspill. The conditions are very nice. If you want to go into the plant conditions, there's a little bit of yellowing there. But anyway, let's keep going on the video. Look at that. Fungal dominant substrate. So you've gone and put it in. That's really nice, mate. Looks good. Good potential. And I hope you've amended that and done the right things and checked the pH, because remember, mushroom compost has a bit of an alkaline effect to it, whereas peat and those types of things have a slight negative pH, acidic pH. So I just hope after you've done this, you check your pH of your soil substrate that you've made. It looks really nice though. Oh shit. Get that video back. That one. Where am I going? Share screen. Press the wrong button then, sorry. So I'll go share screen and go back to this one. We've been to that one. That's right, the indoor one. The nice looking room. Oh, that's what it was. We'll just keep it this screen then. Your nice substrate. All right space, plant spacing. I remember, if you're going under these small lights, they've got to be flipped early because you've got to allow for stretch. That was a nice photo. Oh, that was a nice photo to talk about just what I was explaining. So see the gap there? So that's just about all the leaves. You want to flip when they're all just about touching. So now they're pretty decently touching. So this should have been flipped maybe a little bit ago, or increase your plant spacing, or try and keep your lights lower to grow, not have your plants stretch as much as they have stretched. So you could, in other words, turn maybe your lumens up. If you've got a dimmer switch on this, you could raise it. So for your next time with this cultivar, you could keep them a little bit lower, and this node length is quite stretched, in my opinion, and they should be flipped, or I'm sure you probably just flipped them, because otherwise it's going to get too jungle-like. So you flip and turn this lights up a lot to limit the stretch. Let's see what's going on out back. Oh, there's a little baby room. Nice lights, nice racks, nice cleanliness. Look at that. The little ones. They look like mother plants. Nice little areas. You got to bend your back each time, but still, at least it's something. Shame you couldn't put them like on your middle shelf, or I don't know, somewhere where you don't have to bend your back, but you're not as old as me. Your cuts that you just done, quite large. Don't be so fast with the camera, you're scaring me. Not scaring me, making my epilepsy feel weird. I don't know if I should be showing this. I didn't watch this bit. This is the bit I knew it was you. That's good. Look at the labels around the bottom. Well done, mate. Label each one. So when you cut it and it hangs upside down, the label hangs around the cut as well. So you know when you're trimming it, the label comes off and that's what you're trimming. Perfect. Good work. And I hope when you're watering, you're only watering the imaginary root size. So that's only pretty small. Nice air pots bunched in. Are they breathing all right? You don't have a temperature problem where you are, being on the floor. Because if that was in Canada or something like that, you'd have to heat the floor more so. Otherwise, if you put it up a little bit. So to do that, you get heated mattress pads and you put it on a thermostat, digital thermostat, put the probe wherever you want, and then it just turns on underneath it. So you put the heated mattress pad down first, and then you lay like a panda film over the top. So when the water comes off, it doesn't get onto it. Whoa. Okay, and here's the room that's a little bit bigger again. They're giant pots. So you must be looking to get these quite large, like about, for that size-ish pot, you'd be looking at a chest high, I reckon, when they're finished flowering. Because some people think that the bigger the pot, the bigger the yield. No, it's the bigger the veg time, the bigger the yield. Oh, here's some pictures, some little chunkers. See how the genetics are a bit small? So that suggests to me that it's got the terp profile and the cannabinoids and everything's sweet, but I reckon just going on the bud size, the genetics could be a little bit improved. But look how frosty, you can't fault that. If that was a little bit fatter and bigger, it'd be Canadian top shelf. Look at the frost factor. That's right up there. That's so good. Look at that little chunk. Just that alone would be enough. I'd definitely be smoking that. It could be finished a bit better. Are you learning your cultivar or your cultivars and when they're to be finished? Because I haven't seen any senescence in the leaves where they're starting to go yellow and fade, suggesting that all of the nutrients have run out of the green leaf material in the buds that we're going to be smoking. So that might sort of hurt your throat a smidgen if you're smoking it, or might give you extra head effects if that's the case. But I hope I'm wrong. That's the end of the pictures. Rad. All right, let's see what's been written now. Okay, quality is amazing. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Oh, yeah. What is it? What are we looking at? Great question. What was all of that stuff? Yes, it was very nice. It's my friend's. Oh. It's your friend's grow. Oh, that's a very nice setup, I have to say. Yeah. And what was it? What was that that you were showing us? Cultivars. Yes. Thank you for sharing, John. Who cares? It's nice to get an update. You're welcome to give updates and stuff. It'd be good to see. It'd be good to see how yours is more so going, to give you little hints and tips type stuff. That's all. So you're welcome to do that each week. if you send me some photos through or something a bit earlier, I can, or I suppose I can get you up on here live. Your choice. Live's difficult sometimes because it's live. But if you just send your, that's probably a better idea, just to send your stuff, your videos through a little bit earlier each weekend, and I'll put it up here and just give my thoughts on it if you want. Because growing, just getting the experience with it, it's like a computer. The more that you use it, the more that you're going to pick up and learn on. And you realize what other people's tips and ideas don't quite work in your environment, possibly. And what does work in your environment whilst you're learning your cultivars too. So there's heaps of variables to go off. So from you just doing it is a win. So good work to those people that try it. And if they fail, that's not a failure. That's a learning curve. So it's, yeah, I take my hat off to people like that who are just trying at least. And you have to respect your laws, of course. What's John say here? The buds are my ones. Yeah, that's nice. What cultivars are they, mate? What strains do you have? And yeah, and you're welcome to send through photos each week, and I'll give you an update. And I'd like to update everybody else. I'm sure other people would like to see how you're going too, because we've seen a little bit of your good work that you're doing. And yeah, if anybody wants to chat about their Australian medical weed strains, or their name of the strains, or their method taken, that would be pretty cool. Because today we haven't really got much of a title. So yes, looks like some of those genetics could be exotic. Yes, I agree. From the frost factor, that was bloomin' high. So let's have a look again. I'll share again. Righto. So Jono, who cares, can reply with, what are we looking at? So tell us what we're looking at, Jono. Because nice bud's good, but to know what it is even better. Because then you go, oh, I wouldn't mind trying that. I heard someone the other day, bloomin' had some of that, and it must be looking like this. So that's right at the last photo. I'm going backwards. See, it's tiny. All the amber anthers, pistils, so that's pretty good. Look at the gloves. So that means it was finished all right, but it was fed too late. So it looks like you had a plant maturity, which reached its plant maturity, or sorry, I can't say that because I haven't seen a plant. This is a bud maturity. The bud was mature, but it possibly was fed a bit too late, just by how dark it was. Or this could be a heavily enriched anthocyanin, which has brought out its flavonoids, and it's just that color, like Granddaddy Purple or something, even Death Bubba, or in low temperatures, you can end up with something as purple as that. So yeah, what is it? I have my tablet here going, so why isn't that? I'll see if that can, oh, there we go. Wet Betty Cross. So the first one was Wet Betty. Wet Betty Cross, damn it. Here we go. Hear all the clicks? I don't know if you can hear them all. There's a stack. Oh, and right then my tablet goes down. Okay, Wet Betty Cross, it says. And then this one must be a Platinum Kush Breath. Platinum Kush Breath. Very nice. That looks like it's the same. It is, it's the same bud, just on a different angle. The frosted bud at the end was bag seed. Oh, yeah. Bag seed, eh? Pretty blooming good bag seed. With that bag seed, mate, you have to name them. Did it again. So you have to put a name on it, but it looks very impressive bag seed. Here we go. Wow. There we go. So it's back to the videos. Wet Betty father was unknown. Okay. Yeah, they're very good. It's trimmed. And what are you doing with all of the trim? I hope you're processing that, because look at the amount on that. Huge amounts. I hope you got your bubble bags and you've extracted that. That's very easy to do. Remember, just in the hotter climates that you make your ice blocks bigger. So you might, instead of using an ice cube tray, which you would in cold climates, you'd use like a cup, plastic cups, and have 250 ml of water, and that's the size of your ice bricks. So that just allows you a lot more time while it's processing through your bubble bags. Look at the little scissors. I prefer the ratchet ones. Wowee, that's full on. Yes, it's very nice. In that one, I like how the calyxes, the bracts, they're all tight and foxtail-y like. You can get some that didn't, that grow naturally like that. I like cutting them off and you put like that in a pipe. It's very nice. Can't complain about the frost factor. You see the leaves? There's no signing of senescence. Anthocyanins is a stage in senescence though. But that's, yeah, I think that's fed too much. Looks very good though. Yes, lovely. Looks beautiful. I agree. Aussie Jeffro. Jono Who Cares says, we think it's crossed with purple platinum Kush Breath. We think. Okay. Lovely dank, says Lene. Still don't have a name. Well, that's the hardest thing, mate, coming up with the blooming names. It's yours. So if you're putting it out there, which you are, you've got to put your name on it. Yeah. So that's something fun to think about when you're smoking. When you sit down having a sesh, what could this be called? So I usually try and relate it to what it's like the symptoms or the flavor or the genetic line. Like if it's got a genetic line, I try and hold the name so it can be easily referred to. Like Pukin is ended up to be a cool name, but that's crossed with Pink Death Bubba and Glucan. And Glucan was crossed with Gorilla Glue and Nukin. So Nukin was my all-time favourite. I missed that. Anybody who's got any handle on that, please get on to me. That was just one of the best. From the Pacific Northwest, Nukin. And so yeah, that crossed with Gorilla Glue 4, and then I had that, and then I crossed that with Pink Death Bubba, and it ended up as Pukin. And it's still kept a little bit of the sativary uppity effect that I don't like, that affects my heartbeat. So but yeah, Pukin's, Linane likes Pukin. Yes, but the names are just cool to play with, and I try and, if you don't know the genetic line for people to refer to easily, it might be better using what it tastes like or smokes like. So it could be licorice fun, or I don't know, licorice enjoyment, or something, or just licorice as an example. And if it's strong in something like pineapple, I like I love smoking the pineapple because it just tastes like pineapple. And that's an example of just by using the terp, so people who have it, they can refer to it within the name. Because I don't like how some of them, you can't refer to it. It just means, well, what does it mean? It doesn't mean much. I don't know. It's just a name. So that's how I like to, I don't know, botanically do it. Very strong medicine. You can call it VSM. Your bagweed's very strong medicine. Just play around with names. And I'll write a few down on a bit of paper and leave it for quite a few days, and just trying to alter them, trying to see what they rhyme with, if they're cool, you know, that type of stuff. So just like when you're doing business names for coming up with businesses, just it's hard to do quickly, I find. Renee says, got a lovely ice cream cake cross Kush mints. Smoking at the moment. Holy mackerel. Yes, I'm sure it'll get you off. Yeah. Pukin's all right. Lucan was quite lovely. Lukey had a really good terpene profile. Yes, it was quite good. And Aussie Jeffro, sticky lick Kush. Sticky lick Kush. See any of your Kush, do you, Aussie Jeffro? I like the Kushes too. I prefer them over the hazes. That's for sure. Kushes are nice, more compact. No, I shouldn't say terp profile, but and they're growing time, plant size. Yeah, pretty good. So yeah, that was some very nice buds. So you're into your Kush. That's the way. I like Kush. Can't go wrong with the pain profiles that it has on it. It's and relaxing sedation types of feelings from the very anxious world that we are in, that tries to make you do everything fast and now and rushes you. And it's, yeah, nothing like smoking some good Kush to bring back to normal. Well, I'm not, what else can be discussed? I wouldn't mind helping with the grow. Not Aussie Jeffro, sorry. Jono, who cares? If you've got any of your grow pictures that you've had problems with, you could send me some of them. That would be good. And then I can discuss them and maybe elaborate on the things you could try to improve the health or to eliminate the problem. I enjoy doing that type of stuff. Otherwise, what else can be chatted about? The Australian genetics is, that's what I thought we could discuss today. It was, I haven't had much dealings with it. I've been very let down with it. Unless I want to pay top dollar, and I haven't got top dollar to pay. So the Indica Med stuff that I always get, a couple of different varieties of that, but it's crap. It hurts my throat because it's too dry. There's no smell. The medicinal qualities are so low, but yeah, if you haven't got much choice when you're paying $200 an ounce or something, it's not too bad. You know, it's just unfortunate. If I was to pay probably $300 or $400, yeah, there might be all right stuff, and may as well just yeah. The whole reason was to be a bit cheaper, but they'll make their bid. It'll eventually come down. Hopefully the legalized cannabis party will get respect and their policies will be passed and the Greens policies will be passed so we can all grow it nationwide, not just in the ACT. That'll be great. When those days come, I'll be able to share some seeds. That'll be fantastic. I used to do a weekly giveaway for people in the States on another show. I did that for quite, how long was that? 6 months? A year? I don't know. It was a long time. Every week I used to do it. And yeah, that went really well. It was good fun to hear the results that people got, etc. like that. But can't do it in Australia because of the legality reasons, unfortunately. Wonder if I could do it, but send it to the ACT addresses only. No, you still can't do, because you can't gift seeds away in Australia. And I don't want any problems. So it'll come one day, and then that'll be fun. Be even more fun. Because people in Australia will be able to have quality genetics as well, not just things that's been genetically deprived. DNA profiles have been halved. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. But yes. John Who Cares said, okay, I just got a, let's see if he sent a, I'm just getting a message come through. John Who Cares is set up. I'll show you on that. So it's going to be a blooming show on you today, mate. Jeez. Oh, yeah, and just before that, Aussie Jeffro said he's landed on SPC Smalls, T28, 160, 15 gram, 160 for 15 grams. So that's $300 an ounce. I'm hearing you loud and clear on prices. Sunday's Cosmos, T25, 3.2% terp profile. That's pretty good. 129 for 10 grams. So that's times 3 is 360. 360 an ounce. So it's 350 an ounce. So 350 an ounce. That's still, that's not even competing with so yeah. And the smalls, see how it says the SPC smalls, they're anything under thumb size. So what's that? Here's a ruler. What's my thumb size? 2.8. 2.8 centimeters, an inch. So call it an inch. So anything under an inch is, in Canada, goes in the bin. So it's classed as Bs. So not really interested one single bit. And that's what they send to Australia. So the Bs that you get, as here in the top line, so that's the smalls that Aussie Jeffro is saying. Even it's strong, yeah, it's still strong but they're just small. So people just don't want small buds when you can get the bigger ones and, you know, unstrip the little sides off it. So, yeah, that's how you get this, how we get a lot of smalls. So in Canada, that's just put in for processing and it's not sold. You just put into the big extraction bin. I'm hearing you. Oh, yep. Yeah, it's a nice terp profile. I agree. For once, it's 3. It's not like in the 1s or 2s, which most is. If you've got above 3, it's starting to be pretty stinky. If you've got 5%, it's about the most I've sort of around seen. And that's like when you open it, if you're in a car parking lot, and people down the end of the car parking lot will be looking your way. That's a good way how to describe that. It just really just stinks. It's just terrific. It's so medicinally active. It's yum as. And Aussie Jeffro said Kush cookies. Oh, yep. So I presume the Kush cookies you get for is the 100, the bottom one, the T25, and that would be the $350 an ounce. Yeah. It stinks. It's very nice. My mouth's salivating at the moment. Aussie Jeffro. Yes. To have the rad terp profiles is next level, because post-harvest operation to try and retain all that sort of stuff is really a challenge. People think, let's just grow it. The post-harvest operations is part of the process. There's 8 stages of cannabis, to medical cannabis, to get it out of medicinal product, or you're just as good as the street weed people, where they just get it green, right up, hang it upside down, wait, okay, let's chop quick. So to have a high terp profile is really good. Yeah. Okay, John, who cares? I'll open up those pictures from Thailand in a minute, mate. Thank you. It stinks, yeah. John, who cares? It's been really tough learning. I have made a lot of mistakes to begin with. Well, they're just not mistakes. They're a lot of learning curves that you've learnt on, hey, mate. And they're only mistakes if you make them over and over. So you've done a lot of experiments which haven't gone properly. And you won't do that again, because now you've got knowledge. And that's the best thing about it. For anybody that's growing, they're always picking up on the skills. They'll put different things they've heard, different products. The hydro shop will say, I'll use this. It's the best. It's this PGR stuff. It's the best. It doesn't give you cancer. Once you find out, do the research into your products, you'll think, oh, okay, things aren't that's not the truth. And this, I could do things a bit better. What's this organics? What's this secondary terp profile? So the just growing in general and doing it. So I take my hat off to you. Anybody that does that. Hey, Momedics. How you going, Momedics? Nice to see you, mate. Aussie Jeff Rose says, yes, Bud, the Sundays is Kush cookies, spot on. Okay. The T25, that one. Hey, there's Seymour Cannabis. How are you, Seymour Cannabis? Actually, I know Seymour Cannabis, so I can put you as a moderator. There you go. Now I'm back. Righto. I have to put those. Get those ones up from Thailand, because the streams. I actually have to read what I said. Sorry. The 14 grams, the half ounce, just picked up, was $90 in the States, and it's technically microbuds, smalls, Bs, really, and it's top shelf. Dead set. It's still $90. See, so that's 180 an ounce US. So that's about 250 Australian. High THC, always consistent. Cost 72 with your discount. Oh, that's even better. Holy mackerel, 72. So that's $150 an ounce. See, that's the stuff Australia's got to get onto. Fair income. And that's what's going to make it medicinal, and that's going to stop the black market. You can't compete with that. That's really good. That's good info, Lene. Hey, JC Smith, how you going? I see JC Smith. Just going to show some. Sorry, jump in at everyone else. No. Yeah, that's all right. We've got time, mate. There's no rush. That's the thing. The whole world rushes us these days, and there's no need to rush. And I'm not about rushing anybody. So everybody can take their time. Oh, John. Okay. Holy moly. Don't put pictures of people, please, Jono. Who cares? I'm just going to show the photos now of his sent in. Oh. Right, a lot of them. Okay, share screen. I'm gonna have to get them up first. Here's the first one. And let's see what Jono has been up to in Thailand. Hey, I see Cannabinoid Labs. G'day, mate. Oh, they look pretty cool, didn't it? Huh? Let's do that again. Whoa, look at that right in the distance. Where's he gone? He's right in the corner. Whoa, that's trippy, isn't it? Pull the picture up now. There we go. This looks like a nice little 4x4. Tightly bunched in. You've got to change your labelling, mate. See how old mate had it round, you tie it around the stem. So unless you're growing a mono grow, not a poly grow, or unless you're growing one cultivar, I'd put it around the stem. So the reason why you put it around the stem is you get a little bit like you've done there, but put a hole in it and then put a little clippy tie or a little bit of tie wire, and then you wrap it around there. So when you go chop at the end, hang it upside down, the label stays with the plant. But look at the health-wise, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? The leaves, if you look at the leaf colour, yeah, they're looking all right. They could be praying a bit more. Whoa, what's all this branching? That's cool. You could use that. See this branching one? Oh, what's that gene dominant? It's I can't remember that lemon dominant gene that forms the branching. Oh, anyway, this is a good example where you could use in your low grows. If your friend who had the tiered grow would want a cultivar like this showing these expressions. So you don't have to top it, or you don't have to do any leaf defoliation to promote new nodes growing out. So you could take a cut of this one if this is how it's growing. If you didn't, and you didn't, I can tell from the grow, you didn't tip this or anything like that. That's an expression. So this would be good for you, mate. Because, yeah, let's have a look at the front ones. They are getting a bit of length on them. See the nodes, they're trying to catch up with the top. So that tells me that the lighting source is at a good amount, because everything's trying to reach it and form a canopy here. So he hasn't adjusted this light, the strength of it, or the height in a while. So everything's just gone up, and it's naturally formed it at this nice level, which it is a nice level. So note that dimmer amount you put it on, and you could even just scribe on the curtain, put a black line on the curtain, and aim for those heights each time. Because you know now when you flip in a few days, which you would be flipping, you'd be defoliating the bottoms. So you'd be going and taking all these nodes off below half. So see how this one that made it out? That stays. But those ones down the bottom, remove all that to a good halfway. So there's only nodes coming up above. In other words, this whole canopy will be full with one sheet of bud. It'll be a bud carpet at the end, done that way. So you're on a good, it's good. Can't fault it, mate. You have to tell us what we're looking at here. And it's a bit hard with the delay of 30 seconds. They're very enriched. That even might have a phosphorus toxicity, because see how it's going nearly even blue, the leaves? It might have too much in it. So be aware of that. There's no nutrient tip burn, but it still there's a little bit there, but it could be phosphorus too much. But everything else looks pretty good, mate. And judging on the age of those buds, that's at about day 30. So you're very close to stopping all of its nutrients because you're a synthetic feeder. So that's what you want to do. So feeding up into the end, remember, it takes a time for the nutrients to get into the plant for it to do its processes. So having all this stored energy, it can just call on that. And that's what you want to use at the end. You'll find you'll get the same smoke, but it'll be a lot more chirped up. It'll be a lot more cleaner. It'll be smoother if you're doing it like that. Wet Zealand OG number 2. Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Nice and frosty, isn't it? How's the different photo from below? What's the canopy look like? But yeah, if you're getting buds like that, that's down low. See how this wasn't defoliated before it was flipped? So if you were defoliated halfway, you'd be getting none of these buds down here, and that just puts a bit more nutrients and effort into the top bits, so you get bigger chunks. So instead of getting all thumb size buds, you'll find you'll get a lot bigger buds, and they'll swell more at the top. And another reason for doing that too is trimming. You've got to trim a lot of flower, a lot of the leaf down here, where if you go on the top there's not as much, all of this energy has gone into producing more bud, so there's left leaf to be trimmed, because in the bigger buds, the leaves inside, the little sugar leaves, they can't be trimmed. So that's just goes in the bud. This might be the canopy of it. Looks pretty good, mate. Looks very, yeah, nutrient rich. And that's day 40. So I hope you're not feeding anymore. You have to stop your feeding. You don't want to be harvesting when the leaves are like this. You'll find the smoke, you'll go up a level with your consumption, because with your when people consume your product, it just makes it a lot sweeter, smoother, not sweeter, a lot more smoother, and yeah, nice. And see that last one actually, because that was starting to get to, that's just over double finger. If I was to put my hand facing downwards behind that, that's going to be 2.5 fingers wide, which suggests that your cultivar is good. There's no viruses or anything to, which means it could be expressing its genetic potential. Because from then on, you'd expect that's going to end up about 3.5 fingers wide when you harvest that. See the bud's starting to ripen, finish up from its amber looking pistils, the anthers they're called. So that's good. So it's progressed into its second half of its growing stage. It looks nice, mate. Just yeah, I want to see some senescence soon. Look at that frost factor, eh? What? Am I in a frost jungle? Oh, gee whiz, it happened again. Yeah, bear with me. Where were we up to? The frost jungle. All right, I got it up here. Sorry, I'm not watching the questions at the moment. We're just going through a few pictures from a grow in Thailand, legal Thailand. Yes, look at that. This is the problem. When I used to get photos of buds like this to try and get really nice ones, I used to get 7 an hour that I was keeping. Honest, it was something like that. It was such a low rate. I'd take hundreds nearly, and the reason being is because of the focus. This bit's in focus and this isn't, so it's hard to get that angle where you can just zoom right in and see all the good action, see all the cells inside of the cannabinoids, inside the trichome heads. Trimmers, okay. Try not to include the photos of the people, mate, if you can. Whoa, look at that frost. I like that. See, that's a real light green. I like the light green. That's just a photo, actually. That's just a... Oh, that's drying. Right. Okay. Again, it'd be good to see a bit more senescence. But still, at least there's chunk, eh? And you can process all that trim. How's your drying quarters? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at how dark that is. Those rich anthocyanins. So if you're going to do an extraction, when you put all this into the water, so if you're using bubble bags, you'll get the flavonoids, they'll float, and you'll get the bit of the dye in the liquid. So for people doing extractions, it's having the anthocyanins being brought out is a massive benefit. I did a video on how to bring out your cyanins in your cultivar too, which it works. It's a temperature thing for a certain amount of time at certain periods. If you're interested. There you go, a bit of butter on that. Oh, that's hanging, that's just chopped, okay. After it's chopped like that, if they're big buds, I go through and remove the fan leaves. It just allows a bit more circulation, because I'm scared to, if the buds are, if you pick them at 4 fingers wide and they're going to shrink down to 2 fingers wide when they're dry, they inside of the bud won't be the same humidity as outside. So I just try and give it a bit more airflow. Wet cyan, I think we saw that one. That's right, we did see that one. I remember that one. That looks nice. That's a good photo. Week 4. That's a really good photo. Gee whiz. Yeah, nice strikes. Oh, here we go. It's looking pretty good. See how when you buy mylar sheets, I made the same mistake. Buy it in a roll. And that's what happens if you don't. If you just buy it normally, they'll fold it up for you. And when you unfold it, you see the creases. Ted said, Jono, who cares, is laughing at the moment. Yeah, I know. You buy it in a roll, and you can get it places. It's quite cheap in the rolls too. Oh, wow. But yeah, look at the nice little buds forming. See, you've got a lot of stretch in that. You've got a couple of tiers there with your canopy. You could see how the one in the 4x4 was a lot more controlled. Look at the air gaps. You want to be filling in this airspace here. So each of these squares, you want to be having 1 to 2 nodes coming through before you flip. So you'll grow it, you'll veg it up, and you'll be cutting and trimming and stretching. All right, you'll let one grow really, really big, because once it goes really big, that'll fold down and come over to this side here, and then all its nodes in the middle will grow upwards. So you do that in veg. So let all these big, see this big one here? This should have been folded my way and been brought right up here. And look, it would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all of these buds here would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 growing upwards. And then you could allow a good, because that tent was perfect, mate. This is not. And I hate to be, I'm being very critical, of course, because this is rad. But I'm just saying, for you to fine tune it and to get it, to get to your maximum yield for your space. So you could veg it a little bit longer, and people always think, oh, I want to flip it now. But you wait 1 to 2 weeks and this fills in. And if you would have flipped 1 to 2 weeks ago with the difference in the yield at the end, you'll find it actually does pay off. Just stuff to think about. That's why that one that was branching before, that had the dominant BRC gene, that might be it. That rings a bell. Well, the one with that dominant gene expression, that would be perfect in stuff like this, because you wouldn't have to tip it and train it and do all those different techniques to try and fill in the space, fill in your little air gaps. What's this thing? What's this stretching and hanging for? You're pulling something downwards by the look of it. Okay. Or is that a stem? No, because there's one. Oh, there's a big cable tie there. Oh, is that a cable? That's a cable. Oh, that's a zip tie. And you just zip tied cables. That's bloody poor, mate. Hey, look at that. Where's that that shadow going? Get your trimmers out. Snip, snip. But on the other hand, it doesn't. It's very neat. There's I like how you tried to hide the cables. Wow, that's a nice photo. But see, look at the squares that aren't occupied. They might be occupied lower, but if you wait a little bit, you can get them all up to the same height, and then you'll find once you get it up, mate, you'll have a big bud carpet, and seriously, you'll get some nice yields out of this space that you have. Yes. There's those zip ties. Oh, look, tried to entwine them. Why entwine them? Are you going to reuse them? Leaf health. Look at the leaf health there. Huh? What can you see? I can see nothing wrong. No nutrient tip burn. Suggests the substrate's at a level in which the cultivars he's got likes. Wow. Someone's doing well. Is that the last one? Okay. I'll just check to make sure it's the last one. I've got to catch up on a few. Yeah, that was the last one. That was really good, Jono. Who cares? Thanks for that. Just go up and to where Cannabinoid Labs is. There he is. Hello, everyone. G'day, mate. Killer Genetics, says Lene, in Thailand. Yes, I think that was pretty good too. There's not much from where you've gone, like what, a year or so ago, or a couple of years ago now. Wow, take your hat off. You're doing better than quite a lot of these licensed producers that you get in Australia. Chatting about prices. We were chatting prices and stuff. Yeah, we've just gone into we can start a new discussion now, but I was going to show the prices, the pictures from Thailand. In Michigan, the prices are super cheap at the dispensaries, says Cannabinoid Labs. Yet we're talking about terp profiles and pricing, because Australia has a problem with low terp profiles and high prices. Oh, it looks so cool. Oh, big 60-inch holy mackerel. 65, geez, someone's showing off. I love the smell, just not when it's burning. Yes, you need a vaporizer, mate. Try that. That will exasperate the terp profile. That's why I'm stuck on vaping, because I couldn't believe the difference of how you can actually taste what you smell on the buds out of your mouth. That's what I consider a failed grow, a failed post-harvest, is if I can't taste out of my mouth what the buds smell like when they're growing, that's a considered failure from my post-harvest practices. Cheers. Hit the thumbs up. Thanks, JC. Oh, what's that? We get both super cheap deals, super price in Washington, depending on what you want quality-wise. Yeah, and then compare it to Australia. But your system's been going a lot longer, so it's hopefully Australia can blim and learn. It's lovely. I kind of jumped. What's that? Jono, who cares, says I kind of jumped into it like when with the gold mining. Oh yeah, many mistakes were made, so don't be too harsh, mate. Everyone who grows I take my hat off to them, because they're doing something that they want to learn at and they want to get better at, and it's just excellent. We all made mistakes, and more so I call learning curves. That I don't know, you can't get from any book. You'll hear about it from other people, but to get the experience with it, it sort of sinks in. So, mate, you're doing really good just to make that transition over there and try, you know. So when I be critical, I'm being super critical. Like I do that same judgments when I'm judging a licensed producer, for instance, and they've got problems or, yeah. So you're just doing well. That's why that little 4x4 you've got, that's a rad setup. You've done that. You've trained it well. The canopy, the light adjustment, everything, you're starting to do good. You just got to clean up the bottoms and those other nodes will stretch up to the top. And before you know it, you've got a big bud carpet. It's all new genetics, eh? No names yet. Wow, someone's got a bit of a, you got a trials and sesh then. You start to smell the buds. You look for the expressions in the plants, like for instance, your BRC gene expression one with how it's branching crazily. You might call that BRC, or you might call it branching or something, just so the growers can know it. So you try and help out the people who use it, the genetics. So it might be the smokers or it might be the growers. So yeah, it might be an easy name for them to want to get. Was it Jeffro? Yes, it was nice buds, I reckon. JC Smith said nice too. John, who cares? See, these people are have experience. John, who cares, has Wet Betty cross and Dirty Bird cross and Black 8 cross. Sweet. We'll try and mix those names up. So you might have, say, Betty, Wet Betty. You might drop the wet, or you might keep the wet. So if it's the wet, might be to do with all the trikes on it. So if one of those it was looking like Mac, with all the resin poured out, you might keep it as wet and call it whatever it tastes like. So it might be strong with apples. So it might be wet apples. So that could be your cross new name as an example. Dirty Bird, you've got a few things you can work with there. Black 8, you can grab one of those out of it. I always try to do that. Well, but when the names get too long, that's when you just got to have a whole new name. Like I've got Death Bubba 3:1 crossed Granddaddy Purple. Okay, so it's really hard to grab a name out of those because it's too blimmin' long. So just hey, look out, there's Main Green. There you go, Main Green. Hope you had a good Death Bubba run this year. Be nice to see some pics of it. John, who cares, has been showing all his pics in Thailand. It's been really nice to see them and see how he's been going. And to see, yeah, I enjoy helping too. So it's been good to suggest things, is a good way to put it. All right. Let me tablet's playing up, is it? No, there it is. JC, Main Green, yep. Aussie Jeffro, nice work, thanks for sharing. Yeah, do it each week, Jono, who cares? Because it's nice to see. This is now that I've gone a different direction with the show and not really going with the news, latest news and the latest in studies, let's go with more of a grow type of thing. And it's show more grow stuff and, yeah, fine-tune all those areas. I can suggest different things for you to try and you can come back with me in a few months' time and go, oh, that was bloody not good, mate, blah, blah, or it was good, or, things like that, which will help everybody else out as well. So I'm happy to do that. Good suggestion, was Jeffro. Hello, Buttercup Draws. Love the bait. The variety of tastes from different terps is incredible. Yes, that's what I reckon. That's why the first time I tried the Volcano in 2010, something like that. It was before that, 2005. Anyway, whenever I tried it, I was hooked. I thought, you're kidding. It tastes like this. And I was just smoking from a joint, and it gets that, so I think, yeah, it tastes good. Then you go to that, and you're like, what? Did someone put bloomin' drops in it or something? So I agree, the vapes have got me. Mistakes were made by Jono. We all do that, mate. If you don't make mistakes, you're not going to learn. Otherwise, it's, yeah, if you keep having fluky good runs, you get those people that say, my water's the best. It's because their well water they got has been agricultural runoffs go into it, and it's been fed and they're getting an NPK supplement. It's just little fluke things. So by trial and error, you get these mistakes or learning curves, and it creates good knowledge, mate. You can do multiple cultivars and have all rad outcomes of each cultivar rather than just doing a single crop. And learning that crop and then doing it really good is what people should do, you know, if they want to succeed like licensed producers. That's why they have virtually monocrops in each room. But if you to do it, to have a multi-crop is it's just you know, a bit harder because they do change so very, very slightly, but they do change a bit. Especially if you're a sativa indica, if you stick straight to that equatorial to ruderalis, for instance. There it is, I'm back. JC Smith says, wet, dirty ape. There you go, cross the first one with the second one, and you can have a wet, dirty ape. And that's not a bad name. Jono, who cares? No, he says, absolutely. Yes. Yes, the vape rules. Jono, who cares? The price in Thailand, 1 gram's $2.50. Oh, is that $2.50 US dollars? That'd be good to know. What's your prices there? Because we just saw some prices in Australia. We saw some prices in the States. And tell us some Michigan if you're there. If you're still there, Cannabinoid Labs. And they also get some Thailand ounce prices. So if you're going to a dispensary, how much, or even half an ounce, I suppose. It's just easier to work it out. I always go off the ounce. So I smoke 3 ounces a month, or I like to when I'm not on blooming rations. It's so enjoyable. You build up your nice little bubble of happiness and focus is a good one. So yeah, try and hit us with some retail prices, so we know what the retail prices are. So Australia can just fair income wake up, know that they are the dearest on the planet. Not just for the last few years, they're still the dearest on the planet. But the government says we've got to make our taxes. Yeah, but isn't this about health? Can't you sort of maybe be a little bit fairer? Oh no, it's all about money. You know that, it's about money. Yeah, we blooming know that. It's very unfortunate. So yeah, the prices would be good to find out. If any of you cool folk listening, if you know of any of your prices, drop them in the chat at the moment so I can see what prices people are getting. As an example, like if you're getting a T25 in Australia, they put a T onto it to suggest the THC amount. So I was speaking to one of the dispensary people here, and I told him about that. And he says, what, it changes? And I said, yeah, well, that's, you know, how our stuff doesn't smell. Yeah. Well, that's because it's all gone. It's the terpene profile. It's very important. It's just like the cannabinoid profile. That's why they got the T in front of it. You've got to know the terpenes as well. The cannabinoids and terpenes. So John Who Cares says, my experience is from your help. Thanks from everyone's help. Yeah, well, what should you do get help with? But yeah, you're welcome. It's good fun. I only suggest what I would do, not what I think, you know, not what you have to do, because that's a big difference. So then you can make up your own mind. If it's you might try that on a few different plants and keep it on one side. Like that's what you want to do, John Who Cares. Each run, you'll be trying under the same conditions, under the same fan, CO2, all different gas exchanges, and just maybe grow one without nodes, grow one, stretch one a bit more, put one, bunch one up and see how it struggles. So try and get all this bro science and test it out for yourself so you'll know. That's what I did in Canada, that because I lived in Canada for 5 years, and for a couple of years I just did those bro science tests, and that's what led me to a lot of my videos with the experiments on them, because it was fascinating just to rule some in and a lot of them out. And it all changes on your environment, your conditions and cultivar too. So it's easy to say, do it this way and it'll work. Use my feed program under these conditions. There's a lot of differences. We got airborne, for instance, even the microbes comes down to that. The amount of fungal spores in the air, difference from me to you, and a difference even from season to season. So there's a lot of variables that can be happened. So by you doing the experiments, learning yourself with your cultivars in your environments is valuable knowledge. Dave, 1969's price here. We got some T25 and they're charging $135 for 10 grams. So that's times it by 3. So that's, I'll just get the calculator out. 135 by 3. $400 an ounce. So you're getting some T25 for 400 an ounce. So it's worse than the street price. Listen, wake up, Australia. You want to eliminate the black market, do you? Well, look at these US prices. In the US, top shelf in Washington is $10 to 15 a gram. Varies at different places. But I did write what I got for half an ounce above. Oh, yeah. Yes. So in Australian terms, 10 to 15, so that might be, hang on, 20 a gram. 20 by 30. That's 600 an ounce. Really? 8 to 15 bucks, or $8 times 28 is 224 to 15 times 28. 224 to 420. That's an ounce for top shelf. 224 to 420. That's a very big difference, isn't it? But still, at least you got the option for the low one. Oh yeah, and the varying THC, it's in the high 20s to low 30s, which these days is questionable. But yeah, in other words, blooming high, and you can use it as medicine. That's cool. So yes, thanks for the prices. So Australia's got a, yeah. Well, considering that's up near 400 an ounce, and that's what Dave was saying. But I suppose yours would be a lot better. It'd be fresher. But that said, too, in Australia, if you can afford up near the $400 an ounce to $500, I've heard too, that you can get the Australian grown stuff, which is fresh. So it does retain a lot of the terpene profile. So yeah, Dave, of that pricing that you've got, that would have a good, sorry, Dave, that would have a good terpene profile, I'd imagine. Where the stuff that I get for $200 an ounce, the Indie Med, that doesn't smell at all. It's poor. Even in extraction bin, it would be questionable. You're going to get some, you're not going to get all the medicinal qualities. 2/3 of them is gone. The cannabinoid profile's there. John O'Care says, gibberellic acid, I learnt not to use it. That's because you you used too much, mate. It's a valuable, all the hormones, they're hormones. They're used in little miniature quantities, and if they're used in too much, you can do the adverse effects and can have like nearly all of them. So I played around with all the hormones, and they're a valuable tool, but in higher doses, it's the opposite effect. So maybe the gibberellic acid, because gibberellic acid swells buds. So that's why one of the formulas that they put in for, there's only one on the market too, I can't believe, but they've got gibberellic acid in it, and that swells flowers. They use it in grapes. That's where the experiment come back in the day. And you can see one with grapes without it fed and with it fed, and it's twice the size. So it's a valuable hormone used in the right quantities at the right times too, mind you. But see, it's good fun playing around. So you know that. John Who Cares says, in the market in Thailand has crashed. So many people have lost everything. Yeah, give us some prices, please. We've just been going through some prices in Australia and the US. Throw us some prices, the latest stuff of retail market. What would you expect to pay in Thailand, please, John O'Keefe? Hey, g'day, mate. I see it. We've been talking about Australian cultivars and the pricing and how poor it is in Australia compared to overseas. We've been showing some photos of Thailand from John Who Cares and giving some input into how the grow's been going. I've been saying what he should do and shouldn't do, and genetics and etc. etc. But yeah, talking about, so if you know of any good Australian deals or anything, hit it in the chat at the moment, mate. Renee says, or as low as $60 for poor quality that I would not and could not smoke. So in the States, yeah, you get some poor stuff for $60 an ounce, where in Australia, you're paying $200 for the Indie Med line. I bet you your $60 an ounce still has a profile. Terpene profile, I reckon that they've just lost all the cannabinoids. So what they do for those low ones, excuse me, because greenleaf, the trichomes separate from the greenleaf material when temperatures get below 3 degrees Celsius, between 1 and 3 degrees Celsius, or between 37 and 40 F, they will separate. So in Canada, when you transport large bags, it freezes if it's left, most of the time because it's in the back. And once you move that bag, they will rupture off. So the product with you left at the end is this greenleaf material, but under the microscope, you can see all of the trichome heads have gone, or a lot of them have just fallen off. It's because they've been, well, you could call it extracted, and that's the reason why at that low temperature. But it still has the terpene profile because a lot of them are still stored in various other plant tissues. John Who Cares says, gibberellic acid put the plants back into veg. That's funny. Really? After under a 12-12 light, fair income. That's pretty interesting. Wow. Renee says, yeah, sorry to hear that, John. It's no good. Yeah, don't use as much. And you don't use it at the start of veg either. You use gibberellic acid at about day 25. May says, all foreign medical is fumigated. Fumigated too. Yes, and not only do they put it through they zap it. It's that's why all the licensed producers, they've got to have a big microwave installed on site, and that's because if their fungal count gets above a certain percent, they can zap it, and it brings it back down to, say, under 2%, which it passes. So it gives them a chance to bring their product to market after they've gone through a fungal infection, which a lot of them get. It's ridiculous. Cannabinoid Labs says, in Michigan, you get $1 grams, $3 pre-rolls, which are a gram. Wow. $10 for a 50, which we call a 50 in Australia, or an eighth, which is low end, and $45 for an ounce on the low end, and 70 to 130 for a high end, and $200 ounces for buds. For buds. No. 200 is for high end, average is 70 to 130, and low is 45. Okay. See, that's the prices we need to adopt in Australia. They need to be affordable for folk that want to use it. That's some blimmin' good stuff. You wouldn't ever want to go to the black market if you had prices at your dispenser, at your available in Australia at that. That's cool. 70 to 130. You'd put aside, you might smoke. Wow. So if I smoke 3 ounces a month at my 130, I'm only up for $500, and I can comfortably, if I had a job, get along and do that well. See, Australian market. No, they like to keep the black market involved. John Who Cares says 1 gram from the farm is going for around $1 AUD. 1 gram from the farm. No, I don't follow that. Oh, so $28 for high quality weed for the ounce. No, retail price in the shops, mate. Not the yeah. Can you tell us we're just going through some retail like see up here. This is what you expected because you have dispensaries there. So yeah, please. Oh, here we go. There's Aussie baggy smalls cereal milk at 25% is 199, 180. 180 an ounce. Has that got any terpene profile? Smalls, yeah, they're smalls, big deal. But if that's got a terp profile for 160 an ounce, that's blimmin' good. Wow. No, 100. It is. It's 100. Actually, it's under that. 160, probably in with GST. Yeah, can you fill us in with that, please, Mace? Because that might be good actually for myself and for other folk in Australia who struggle with the Australian medical program the way it is. Cannabinoid Lab says 12 to 18 grams for a gram of live resin. 12 to for 1 gram? That is so cheap. Live resin, if you haven't smoked it, is a treat. So each Friday, Saturday night, you go to the blimmin' set and you treat yourself to some live resin. And it's also in Michigan, it's $40 to $50 for pressed rosin grams. Really? Rosin is double the price of live resin? Live resin, okay, the difference with those two, live resin is processed, you don't have any, or you have very minimal losses from your plant post-harvest operations because it's put in a freezer and it's extracted that way. Fresh frozen is a good way, another thing you'd call it. Where rosin, you can sit around, you dry it first, you sit around, and the lighter the color of the rosin means the more fresher it is. But yet it's double the price. If I was there, I would all day be getting live resin. Holy mackerel. Or $90 for 14 gram baller buckets of what? $90 for half an ounce of live resin. And the live resin too, because it's so thick, it stores well. It's like hash. It has no real room. If you push it tight together, it has no real room for oxygen to sit inside of it, so it stores quite well. So it might film up on the outside, but inside of it, like hash, you're going to get the retained a good product. That's a real good price. Anyway, let's get on with it. Stop drooling. John Who Cares says, if I was to go into the dispensary in Thailand, how much would I pay if I was to get 15 grams? John Who Cares, would I be getting yeah, can you get us with that one, mate? Oh. Oh, retail Australian dollars for 1 joint. Really? That's really expensive, isn't it? $5 a joint in Thailand with their exchange rate. Wow. That's mega expensive. Even in Australian terms, $5 a joint, I think, is a bit of an ask. Maybe if you're getting 1 grammers, but they wouldn't be 1 grammers. Cannabinoid Labs says Michigan residents can grow 12 plants per person, so there is a lot of pressure on dispensaries to undercut the black market. So that's why prices are so low. Yes. Why can't Australia learn? Cannabinoid Labs goes on to say no incentive for black market sales. That's yes. Oh, wow. Is that how you do it? Okay. Well, these dumb Australians, man, they got no idea. They want to keep the prices high. Oh, no, but whatever. I don't get into politics. See, for that blimmin' reason. John Who Cares says high quality medical goes for a gram in the shops up to $50 a gram. What? Fifth, and there must be there must be what's some other prices, John? Who cares? Because that seems pretty blooming high. Renee says, well, never heard of a 14. Yeah, baller bucket. Yeah, I know. I'd love one of them. For 90 for $100 even. I'd even give them $200 for a baller bucket. That would last so long smoking, and every time you smoke, you'd be stoked. May says, Big Bud, Thailand, I Pataling. They're selling from $250 bat to $450, which is $12.50 to $30 a gram. That's expensive as. So even at $10 a gram, that's $300 an ounce. Well, $280, but gee whiz. And Thailand's like a third world country, so that would be equivalent to buying something extremely expensive. What a flaming rip-off. Wow. Damn. I do prefer rosin, says Lene. Yes. 45 to 75 a gram of rosin. Wow. And you're supposed to get, I think, is it a third of the dry weight? If you have 10 grams of bud, when you rosin press, you'd expect to get, is it 2 grams out? 3 grams. 2 to 3 grams. John, who cares? 150 Australian dollars, maybe for half an ounce. Okay. That's what I guess. Renee says $20 to $40 live resin from low to high quality. They got low quality live resin. Gee, nice. 15 plants max for Washington with medical license. Yes. See, Australia's got so much to bloom and learn. See, with a medical license. See, so you paid money to get that so you can grow. Why don't they even do that in Australia? Pay, even if it's a large amount, then you can grow. But then you got to give up your address and all sorts, and they'll come over and all, there'll be problems. Jono says, I've seen it for, yeah, I don't know what that means. And as low as that in shops. Okay. May says, Aussie Medical MJ Pops Cheesy, 18%, 10 grams is $70. It's 140. Oh no, 73 to 20, $200 an ounce still. Are these ones that you've, MJ Pops Cheesy, yep. Are these ones you talk of, do they have terp profiles? Do they smell? Because it sounds pretty good. It sounds like they might be cleaning up their act a bit in Australia, because these prices that you've said are affordable. You know, for under $200 an ounce, I think that's pretty good. That's affordable. But yeah, you want to get the, not just the cannabinoids, you want to, well, myself, I want more than cannabinoids as a high. I want to get the full entourage. Yes, it has terps. What? Is that the, so for folk, if they wanted to get onto that, I don't know if it's exclusive for you, but if you want to say, can you put in the buying place or, you know, the pharmacy? Because once you get a prescription, is it true? Actually, you might be able to clarify. Oh no, you need a doctor to tell you that you want that specific type, don't you? You can't go and just say, I want 2 ounces of weed, because they've got to, the doctor's got to prescribe you with actual cultivars, don't they? That's how Australia works. So the doctors that have done their 4-hour course, they're the ones that tell you what you need. Aussie Jeff Rose says Tasmanian sunflower THC 27 Royal 28 grams is $200. Is the cheapest and best for me. So that's $200 an ounce too. Okay, so they might have done something. Seems like Australia is coming around a bit. Oh yeah, Mace says you ask your doctor to prescribe it. So you have to go to. So for instance, if I wanted like the MJ Pops Cheesy, I'd have to go to doctors that prescribe that one specific. So I'd have to find out where that's grown, off what LP, and then find out what licensed producer deals with what doctors, and then go to that doctor to try and get those cultivars. That's, what is that, a summary of the Australian medical program, do you think? But at least it's getting better. The pricing is starting to improve a little bit. They need the ones for $100 an ounce, the ones who are high smokers. Oh, Mace says any doctor can prescribe it. Oh, so if I go to my cannabis doctor and say to him, I want my MJ Pops Cheesy, or 18, what was the one you said something that was a lot higher percent before? Cereal milk. If I want some cereal milk, then the doctor will say that's what I want, and then I'll ring up the dispensaries that have that cereal milk. Medical weed doctor. Yeah, the medical. Yeah, sorry, not a licensed GP, the medical weed doctor. Okay. So for those people listening, they might be able to, there is options out there. Baggy smalls, it specifically says baggy smalls. That'd be right. So in other words, instead of going to the extractor, we'll send it to Australia. And still, it's one of the best in Australia because it's retained its terpene profile. Or it might even be Australian that they are still selling, because I'm sure they'd sell their bee-buds here. Their grading program would be a lot different. Aussie Jeffro says, no, go onto Catalyst on Honolulu and find what chemist has it in stock. Some have free delivery, otherwise, really. So Honolulu, H-O-N-A-H, I'll Google that, let's have a check. H-O-N-A-H-L-E-E. I was on there before. This is cool. So Honolulu Catalyst, I'll just share my screen. Actually, I'll stop that. Well, we're just saying how this, how to get onto the good cheap stuff into Australia. So we've seen some good, Mace and Aussie Jeffro have suggested some good cultivars that might be affordable. So if myself or anyone else wanted them, we'd go on to this website, care of Australian Aussie Jeffro, thank you. So I'm just discovering this. So we go on to this Honolulu Catalyst and go down and put in which one we want. So if I want cereal milk, looks like I might have to log into search, Spewing. Who's pricing? Because you're not logged in. Okay. And I've got to log in again. Okay, at least that's cool information. So you go to the Honolulu website that Aussie Jeffro said. Where am I up to? This one. And get that stuff. Somehow free delivery. That's pretty rad. I'll actually I'll save that one. Because that'd be handy to know. All the info is on Canna Reviews. Okay, so go to Canna Reviews and get updated myself and other folk who want to get involved with the Australian medical program. Cool. Really good info. Aussie Jeffro says, you put your e-script into the Only search and you need an e-script, I think, to search, but it's great information on all the strains and prices and the chemists. Fair income. So I'd get my medical cannabis doctor to say I want some, what was that milk? Cereal milk. And then I'd go to Only website and search for it and to see where it was stocked. And ring up that chemist and go, I've got a prescription here. I'd like it filled, please. Well done. Wow. I'll be retitling today's Australian info. Australian medical cannabis info and strain search. And I might even put that link in the search engine. Thank you, Aussie Jeffro. And Kenna Reviews. I'll add that too, Mace. I'll put that in Kenna Reviews and I'll put in Only into the search engine. Some bloody good information. These cool people. Jono Who Cares says, LOL doctor, I recommend MJ Cheesy Chops. 10 minutes later, down the road, you get pulled over and is there any drugs in the car, sir? No, I only have my medication. Yeah, it has changed a bit, Jono Who Cares, in Australia. I haven't been pulled over like that, but you want to keep whenever I get my medical cannabis, I keep the receipts. I keep as much information as I can. Even the chemists, sometimes I'll give you printouts. I'll try and keep them too. It's keep as much as you can, mate, because there are still, it's illegal in most states to have normal cannabis. So, cops act accordingly. So the more information you have for them, it's the better. But time to change, mate. I'd just be worried about the getting pulled over a bit, about the RDTs in Australia. That's where they're pretty strict on. Some states you can consume and drive, and some you can't. Mace says updated list of products, prices, percents, etc. on Kenna Reviews. Yeah, cool. I'll put in that Kenna Reviews. Okay, that's what it looks like, huh? All right, I'll show everybody. No, wrong button. Let's go back and show about see what Kenna Reviews looks like, so you can see what that Only looks like as well. For those overseas people, this is how Australia runs. Here's the Kenna Reviews. Australia's first medical cannabis review platform. Of course it is. They haven't had, anyway. First. Gosh. There's been other ones. Patients, there's that one I was blimmin'. Oh, the one where you can, it's just not above board, so I don't want to. Patients are trusted by a lot of people. All right, very good. Created to educate. And how would this one work, mate? You'd have to sign up. Pharmacies, products. Okay. Find a product. Wow. Live rosin. Extracts. Sign in. Okay. I'll still go. I'm going to save that one though. This one. I don't have to share it while I'm saving, do I? Anyway. Good information on today's topic. Updated. As Jeffro says, Kenna Reviews are good. Also, as my doctor uses Kenna Reviews to order from. Yep, that's it. As I pulled it up. That's funny. So, all right, cool. Two cool things. John Who Cares says, the laws in Australia need to be fixed for those who use it medically. Yes. And even those who don't use it medically, they use it for a reason, which probably calms them down, or they use it for medicine. So I just reckon it needs to be blooming just legalised. Just look at the states. They've prospered. They've got so much money on taxes. It's a win-win. And people get healthier. The thing is, all the prescription companies, they're going to go down. So that's why Australia's taking its time, because of all of their corruption. Lene says cereal milk is popular in the States too. Oh, wow. The medical in Australia. Is the medical in Australia from Australia? Absolutely not, Jono, who cares? I was getting some, well, I've gone off the medical program and it gets imported. And mine was coming from BC, and by the time it comes out here, it sits in quarantine for a while and they got to do their checks and inspections. So a few months later, after it's sitting in bags in non-refrigerated conditions in their hot warehouses, the product gets released into the dispensaries, and then they'll bag it and put it in those stupid little jars, plastic jars, and send it to you. The jars are they're massive. You think, oh, wow, I've got an ounce here. It's got a false bottom in it that's 3/4 of the jar. It's ridiculous. Takes up postage space. It's Australia's got a lot to learn, mate. They really have. Aussie Jeffro says, use was app to find out exactly where or what driving route is best and way to drive. It's a good app, in my opinion. Okay, so was app, just so you can find out the best driving routes and it helps you. Okay, cool. Most is Canadian. Oh, there you go. Jono, who cares? Most is still Canadian. Most is still blooming. That's so upsetting. Did you know, remember a few years ago, I was with the news, I still remember 18% come from Colombia to Australia of their medical program because of the laws here. They don't want to, they made it too hard for people to get medical licenses. I tried, I struggled. John, who cares? Is there Thailand medical on the market yet in Australia? I wouldn't have a clue, mate. Oh, you mean do they import Thai weed? I reckon they probably would. Yeah, probably. They're struggling here for it. They've made it so hard for people to grow it in Australia, even legally. It's the laws. It was $80,000 to get inspections done every 12 months. So upon all the licensing and the blah blahs you're going to have, 80 grand if you've got to put aside for them to come through and just look at stuff. And how do you know, being such a medicinal product, now you know about bugs and diseases, that they are clean. So they'll come through and put on a new suit. How do you know that suit's clean? Did they reuse it? Are their shoes all right? All this sort of stuff. Are they going to introduce something, a new vector? Are they going to vector something into your grow? Imagine that. Then suddenly your grow goes down because of the inspections done wrong. Australia has a lot to learn. So yes, I would think that that'd be important, mate. Mace says, got to sign into Canna Reviews, must be a patient medical weed. Oh, yeah, cool. Is Cannabinoid Lab says, is CBD available in Australia? Yes, CBD is legal in Australia. Can you believe? And then you go to the chemist or to the drugstores and you ask for them, and they can't get it. They have stock supplies. I've said this to quite a few of them, and I don't ask anymore because it just annoys me. They sell Australia as to be really looking after Australians people in their best interests, and they're really, really making a good money out of it. So CBD available in Australia? Probably. Well, you can get it online. So there is a good online website that you can go to. That's I don't agree with the person, but it's still, he has a good product. So that's, and someone will probably put it in the chat if you want, but it's a good website where you can get the CBD online. They're in vapes too, so you can vape them. So it's, yeah. And yeah, Mace says, yeah, it's legal now. It's been legal for a while, but is it accessible? Is a better word. And it'd be funny to get pulled over by it, because there was what was that rat? OG Dream. That was 20. What was it? 25% CBD, and 0.1% THC, but it looked and smelt like the best you've ever seen. So it would be difficult. You'd be definitely taken away in Australia. They wouldn't believe you got CBD. And true to that too, I don't think CBD you can get as flower yet. I think you can only get it as the oil, or in vape, sorry, as an extraction. Lene says, yes, Mace, can buy over the counter. Can buy over the counter. Yeah. But have you seen, Mace, have you seen it anywhere where you can actually, where they stock it? Because that's when it was, I was so happy to hear that a few years ago, because it's very, very good for inflammation. I use it if I get when I hurt myself. I'll just bang, put the oil on straight away. And it really helps. It's terrific for that. Well, for me it is. Was something. No prescription, recreational, medical dispensaries combined here. Yeah, that's what it should be, like in Canada. It's just brilliant. You just walk in, how you going, mate? Yeah, lovely, like a liquor store, like a going into your bottle-o. They call liquor stores in Australia bottle-os. Yeah, going to your local bottle-o. Where's your bottle-o, mate? Yeah, stuff that is crap. Mace says, nice. Our buds in Australia come from Canada. Yes. Canada knows their stuff. I lived there for 5 years, and it was great to work with some commercial growers and get the insides and outsides, and yeah, really good. That's what Pink Death Bubba is, actually. Anyway. Holy mackerel, 2 hours? Well, it's been really good. Feeding them 2 hours. Wow. Jesus, show flowed well. That was a really good topic on some pricing and some showing. So that's what today's is, just on the Australian pricing, I suppose, and worldwide pricing, and some Thailand grows, which hopefully each week. Now you'll send me a video of even the updated one, that little 4x4, Jono, who cares? Send me a video of that and I'll show the update of that, so we can see how your training's going and if things are filling out properly, and making sure you got at least 2 nodes each trellis square filled in. And I'm sure other people would like to see it, and I'd like to see it too, because this is a medical cannabis show, and everyone wants to learn how to fine-tune their grows and learn and grow medical cannabis, not just normal cannabis, which everybody can grow. We have to fine-tune it and get the best out of your genetics. It's good fun. I like doing it. So yeah. Cannabinoid CBD isolate is not very difficult to convert to THC. It just takes a little. Yes. That's the synthetic stuff, mate. Oh, right. I see where you're going. Okay. I'm sure you can pick up on what cannabinoids is laying down. Yeah, but the problem is, though, mate, we can't access it in Australia, and that might be the reason, because for maybe something to do with that. But yeah, the thing is too, when you're doing that, when you're doing that little process, you're creating synthetic THC, remember, which is being outlawed in 3 US states so far. So I support organics because it helps us. Synthetic seems to not, but if you do really want, there you go. There you go. Like, read the chat. Renee says, only hemp-derived CBD owned the counter in Oslo. Ah. Hey, that might be the case. Maybe they compound it in Australia, where you can get it's the percent's up. Because, yeah, it wouldn't be very good getting 5% CBD oil. But mind you, that's probably what it is. 5% would be, what, 50 milligrams? I bet you. Wow. That's probably what it is then. Yeah, you're right. 50 milligrams. But 50 milligrams would probably help. I like it a little bit stronger because then you know it's blimmin' working. But remember that hair growth study that you can grow your hair follicles above 10 milligrams of CBD kills your hair follicles, but below it increases your hair follicle growth. So, yeah, it's good to know the numbers. But, yeah, that's a pretty interesting statistic. Johnny Who Cares says, I think I might become an inspector in Australia, 80K. Wow. For what? LOL. Yeah, just to walk through and make sure everyone's doing the complying. But that's what they showed to, like your plant count, they'd walk through and count your plants, for instance. That's probably all they could do, mate. Even though I think it's mandatory, you've got to have a camera in each room where the grows are, so they can nearly count them from a distance anyway. But, yeah, it's just revenue raising. Things will change. They'll fine-tune up. I'm sure when it first came out in California in the early 1990s and that, it was something similar. But it's just a shame that we've got to live it in Australia now. Renee says, from what I recall, and it was not available anywhere in Australia. Yeah, hard to get over the counter. That's why I'd be interested to see if Mace has ever had any luck with any. Aussie Jeffro says, get driving. Actually, speaking of that, CBD first, you can go into a pub now, some liquor outlets, bottle-os that sell it in cans. And I saw it in the cans. So it's, yeah, top dollar, but still it was available. Aussie Jeffro says, getting driving directions that update instantly to avoid traffic cops and crashes. Yes, download the WAZE app, WAZE. It's a good up-to-date one, apparently. It just keeps you informed on the roads and what's going on. Cannabinoid Labs, hemp is the source of CBD. Hemp is the source. They've got THC. Well, I've got OG Dream, which is you'd call it hemp, but it's a extremely potent hemp. It's 28% CBD. But the most of the industrial hemp is the sources of it in Australia, where they've got the percents are lower than they're 5 or 6%, where they don't grow it as a full spectrum plant like we do. If you're growing a normal cultivar, they will just grow in their fields. They'll just get rid of all the leaves and they grow these big stems, and that's it. And that's how they process their hemp out of it. So yeah, it's industrial hemp, difference from, what would you call a full spectrum? No, the medicinal hemp. Or what would you call OG Dream then? Because it is hemp, because it's not above the THC to be called cannabis, but it is from the Cannabinaceae family. I don't know, all these terminologies. Renee says, accessible, exactly, yes. Let's get some. Renee says, that OG Dream was lovely cultivar. Yes, its terp profile is up near 5%. It was off its charts. Jono Who Cares says, honestly, how do you define the difference between medical and non-medical? Oh, I can answer this so well. Well, medical cannabis versus street marijuana. That's the question. And this is, God, I wish Australia's powers could listen right now, because what you get from street marijuana is you get your PGRs growing in it, the cancer-causing substances. You get pesticides and herbicides sprayed on it, or even before harvest. So you're going to ingest them. You get all these problematic poisons and things that you don't need in the plant. You're getting non-care about the secondary metabolite profile. So people will just dry it in the sun. They'll dry it fast. They won't dry it. I've seen stuff that's been wet and sold. So once that wetness is sitting around, if it sits around for more than a few days, bang, the spores that are in the air are going to start and germinate on that product. So they've spoilt it. So street marijuana is massively shit. Medical cannabis is grown with care and love about the end product for its medicinal qualities, retaining as much of the genetic potential as you possibly can with its secondary metabolite profile. You want to enhance that and bring that out in the safest organic possible way. You want your post-harvest operations to be at the prestige condition with many digital gauges around, and so you can see, or analog too, so you can see what is going on, so you're not guessing. And to be right up till it's consumed, it's going to be protected. Where street marijuana can sit in a bloody bin, aerating out, getting a bit dry. Oh shit, we better put a bit of moisture back into it. You know, if you buy a bag of weed and it has no smell into it, but it looks rad, there's a high chance that the secondary metabolite profile has gone and they've just moistened it back up again, just with some water. That's my interpretation of medicinal to street. It's massive, massive difference, mate. Cannabinoid Labs says, I'm an active on Twitter if anyone has that. Okay. Very good, Cannabinoid Labs. Yeah, and that's what I try and promote on this show is medicinal cannabis and trying to eliminate all those harmful practices that don't bring out the genetic potential or allow the person to consume it at a safe way. Yeah. So you can grow synthetics, you can do those things, but the practices with synthetics aren't good for the environment. So that's why I really promote organics practices or the organic approach, organic grow, everything to do with it. It's sustainable. Synthetics is not sustainable. So it's the marketing, the hydroponic shops only want to use that way. There's no organic places to get it because the organic amendments, you need so little. It virtually takes care of itself. Once you get your biopesticides and biostimulants, biofungicides, everything, it's really rad. So there's a big, massive difference, mate. Street marijuana to medical cannabis. That would be a good discussion on for another show. I think we're going to have to end it. It's 2 hours. I don't remember doing a 2 hour special, 2 hour show. Sorry, it wasn't even a special. This is fantastic. I really appreciate all your excellent help, chat. This wouldn't have been anywhere close to that. Really helped out the people who are going to rewatch this. It's with prices in different places, especially in Australia where they can get it. It's been beyond me. I've struggled for so long. It's just been a challenge. So I haven't worried about it. Yeah. Mace says, what was the best weed in Canada? What do you mean, well, best? Well, best for me, I like something that's really strong that gets me there. I like something that's really terpy and tasty, like really tasty. And I like the high to be something that agrees with my body. So I'm not angst out. I'm, feeling good. I've improved my state from before I smoked. So with all those put into it, I would rank it's Nukin. I really miss Nukin. It tasted like tropical fruit when you smoked it. It used to grow in and look like pineapples when it used to grow. Its bract form, its calyx form was just so tight and amazing with even low CO2. I just missed the whole thing about Nukin. I've asked quite a few people to help me find Nukin again, and I still haven't had any luck. But yeah, Nukin from the Pacific Northwest was brilliant. Also, Death Bubba. When I went to all the dispensaries, when I first got there, I didn't know what to smoke. So I just went to them and just spent a lot buying, I think even one dispensary, what did I buy? 8 ounces. They had to ring the owner to find out if they could sell me that much. It was the one in Dynamo there. And it was, yeah, I got all sorts of discounts. It was fantastic. I only paid, I think, $1,000 or just over $1,000 or something for 8. It was really, really good, and just bang, just smoked as much. Anyway, so going to heaps of dispensaries in over 6 months and seeing what agreed with my body, and then I could source those genetics. And I remember Death Bubba being one of them. And yeah, so Death Bubba, and then actually Island Pink was pretty good after I got to know it too. And I ended up crossing both of those, and that's what is Pink Death Bubba. And some commercial growers have Pink Death Bubba, and yeah, it's still one of my favorites. Medicinally, it's quite beneficial for your body, and blah blah. It's one of mine good ones. Those ones that really stand out, I had a Gorilla Glue 4 that was every time two times I took some amounts to the dispensary to sell them, and it broke their tester. It was testing in the 30%, and the machine shut down. That happened twice, and I was the only person to do that, and that was pretty strong. That's what is involved with pukin, because Gorilla Glue was crossed with Nukin, and then I crossed Glucan with Pink Death Bubba to make pukin. So that's was all right. Oh, there's been some more comments down here. Oh, yeah, okay. So yeah, those ring a bell, mate. Death Bubba, that was really good. That was pretty much but the problem with Death Bubba was it's only had one terp profile, and I like having a back note and a front note and a bit of a side note, where I like not just being a dank and rank, not just being like that, and sort of got a bit fussy in my older age. So I like two terp profiles now. I like being able to taste this at the start. Oh, yum, pineapple. Oh, look at this gas creeping up in the background, you know, type of thing. Yeah. So that was a good question, though. I was going to make a video on that, about my favourite strain, cultivar. Jono says, okay, so if the laws were to change, if the laws were to change in Australia and everyone is allowed to grow, what is going to stop people from putting pesticides on plants and people using PGRs? Nothing, mate. Absolutely. People will do it. This is what the hydroponics shop recommend. There's one shop in Victoria, 90% of his sales is to PGR products. It's what they recommend. So this is going to continue because people want, they get sold stuff and they don't know about organics. They have a problem and they think they've got to go out and spray and do this and that instead of, my connection just cut out. So how can I see if it's working again? And they want to spray with this and that and see if it fixes the problem, not knowing about you can buy pesticides and know about your patterns, your seasonal patterns, and you can preempt problems with organic growing, and you can reuse substrates, and you can get your beneficials, they can stay in your substrates and in your areas too. So if you were going to buy Monterenesis, which is rad for everything, or, you know, your cucumeris or Priscillus or those ones, various different other ones, beneficials, you'll always have them. They won't ever be sprayed off. So people will, like people in Australia, mate, they're still using shitloads of pesticides. Australia's one of the worst planets for glyphosate or Roundup. And that's, it kills everything. It stays, it's got a 100-year half-life. It stays in this, the groundwater tables. It's just not beneficial. It kills bacteria, fungus, everything it kills, not just plants, not just herbs, which is they really just want to kill. So these practices will always stay in place because people need to make money. Marketing, your big manufacturer, they always promote, get this for sprayings, get this, you add fertilizers, you have to put in your slow release fertilizers and long fertilizers, mate, all this sort of stuff, instead of teaching people how to get around toxicities and deficiencies. So you can even foliar spray to fix up deficiencies. You can even, like in the ground, after a grow, because I did my soil science, I did quite a few soil science courses at uni, and they in the phosphorus section, there's, after you do a crop, 45% of the phosphorus remains, the H2PSO4 minus, remains in the soil for you to use for the next grow, because a lot of the phosphorus comes from DNA in your microbes and bacteria. So all of them cycling through is going to break down, and you can use phosphorus as an example. Nitrogen, it goes, oh, I'm not going into nutrient cycling, but it'll always happen. It'll always happen when people have to make money out of marketing. They're going to tell you you need to spray bad things to kill off bugs, which the bugs actually do help you. So instead of doing organic practices, they'll teach you to do the quick and easy way that farmers want, and that it's not sustainable. So that's why people want to go into organics. They don't know how to transition. They finding it's too labor intensive and they can't the cost is too high to set up. So they just don't do it. But once it's set up, it runs itself. So that's how the world has survived up until 100 years ago, when we started implementing all of these fertilizers and ruining the whole planet and killing the planet, because the microbes aren't cycling properly. We're eliminating all these false soil food webs. It's supposed to be helping, that's not. So it's not going to stop, mate. You either be an organic grower or you're not. And that's what I try and promote. And I hope people will ask questions to try and build up those types of, I'd call them qualities. And then you can keep everything healthy, not just yourself, which is what synthetics does. Keeps you healthy because you pack pockets of fat, you're getting the yield you want. That's it. What about the ground? Oh, who cares about the ground? We'll move here soon. Yeah, that's what China's tried to do. Their whole ground's not good. They can't grow anything. John Who Cares says, this is a pretty good argument for those who don't want the laws to change. Yeah, mate, it's terrible. It's mega sad, but big farmers, they want to go organic. That Gardening Australia show, that promotes organic growing and organic practices for sustainability. They're trying to do it and teach people. My studies were in organics. I have been taught the synthetics too, but I've been taught from my environmental studies the outcomes of the synthetics. And unfortunately, it's just not good. It's too overused, and it's not used properly, and the runoff is just horrible. Nitrate leaches out with water. So if you put water into your substrates and you have nitrate, bang, it just follows the water pattern. Being a negative charge, negative cation is NO3 minus. It just grabs on, and it can't be bound into the substrates. It's just sad. So things get leached out a lot easy. Anyway, JC Smith 71 says, Health Canada has allowed the use of over 37 different pesticides in legal industry, which has led to some market recalls and a couple class action lawsuits. There you go. It's happening. There was Monsanto Bayer, that horrible, terrible company, was sued successfully from someone in the States. They got a multi-million-dollar payout because they were using, I think, one of their pesticides in the area, and this person got cancer from it. So it is slowly happening, and the transition, but I think it'll be until next century until everyone's organic. I really do. They've got many years because, as you see, big pharma, these companies are humongous, and they can pay politicians. They can get swings in different ways that are very favourable. So I don't know. I don't want to go down that route. It's just like the legality route in Australia, but it's just going to happen. JC Smith 71, a certain chemical which turned a poisonous gas when ignited. Wow. Yep. It's just, that's what organics is really the go. Trying to get all these good practices. Well, what was it? One of my courses said 95% of the underground groundwater in the lower 48 states in the USA is polluted. And that's got all sorts of pesticides, herbicides, and chemicals that are leached into the groundwater. So it's unsafe for use anymore. You're supposed to filter it before use. That's sad. That's mega sad. Yes. Terrible people. Terrible people. So I promote the opposite of what those do. I promote the organics, which is sustainable, very healthy, and healthy for everything, not just us. It cycles everything well, and therefore it just keeps looking after everything. It's from going into organics, realizing that you've got a higher buffer, that the microbes take care of a lot of stuff. Then you can manipulate the microbes and fungi to do things for you in your secondary metabolite profile. You can, like that. Oh, I won't go into it. This has been a humongous show, but yeah, this would be good to. I feel like it's talk about this for a long time. Try and ask these questions at the next show, because this is a long time. I didn't want to be one of those streams that goes for hours and hours. I'm happy to go for an hour, and this is pushed to 2 hours, 2.25 now. These cool people are just putting in good chat things to talk about, and it is interesting. And because of the studies that I've done, I'd like to put out the good word to hopefully, and you can pass it on to other people. Most of these people are already converted and know all this stuff too, but it's the more people that we can help educate to get out of the practices that are spoiling the planet. And that will bring it all back down to us. Like the plankton is so small and they feed the whales. You know, if we can feed the microbes, they will really help us. Like our gut microbacteria is us. So all these things, and you know, all this stuff's just got to be protected. Wow. This has been a good show. I really want to thank everybody for their contribution. I hope every one of you that came and put stuff in today comes in next week again, and we can continue the cool chat. This has been, I'm going to have to wrap it up though. It's been a long show, and I don't want to talk about stuff that's not relevant, because yeah, today's show was really relevant for the Australian medical cannabis community, or not community, but the users is more so, because the Australian medical cannabis, or even the cannabis community, I found in Australia is poor. If you all know a bit of me, know what's happened in the past, it's just sad. So, but the medical cannabis users is a better way I should put it. So for those folk, it's yeah, I'll be putting in Australia, I'll be retitling it for everybody to help. So thanks again. Grow your own, grow in peace if possible. Wow, nice words, JC Smith. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody's nice words. Hope you see us all here next week again at the same time. Watch your daylight savings, because it might change. So happy growing, happy breeding, and good health to you all. Thank you again. Bye-bye.